evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Thursday Night is Something Different. Now, it's very different tonight because this is a live stream involving our little piano. And I hope everything is working. I've had to set up everything completely differently for this. This is really very confusing, and I hope it works. It's the most convoluted thing you could ever imagine, getting the sound from the piano over to the ATEM switcher so that we can get it live. And because we've got the ATEM switcher, I have to, hold on, I'm going to have to move this. Here's my glass. It's an empty glass. That's a good start, isn't it? I'm going to have to move this over here. That's good, so that I can keep an eye on this. I have to have my laptop here next to me. You can't see it, unfortunately. We do have another camera, by the way. We have hold on, oh, I forget how to do this. Here we are. We have this camera here. There we are, watching the right-hand side. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think if I'm very clever, I can do this. There we are, perfect. And you can see my left and right hands doing what they're doing. So something very, very new indeed. So let me know, ladies and gentlemen, that everything is working. This is new. This is not one of the normal organ streams. The organ is, I can touch the organ bench from here. That's how small this room is. Look at the slope of the ceiling. This is this is one of the biggest problems of this music room. It's tiny, and this is where the piano can go. So I've actually got a little bit of headroom before my head touches the ceiling. So we've got to be a little bit careful. Let me remove that before we do anything. So make sure, let me know that you can hear me okay. This is our little microphone here. Let me know that you can see me okay. Let me know that you can hear the piano okay, and that it's actually in stereo. I've had to do all sorts of amazing things using using an old computer over there with oh my goodness, with the Mo2 interface and here. Oh my goodness. Very confusing indeed, but it looks like it's working in stereo. It looks like it's sounding good. A bit laggy. Shouldn't be laggy. Shouldn't be laggy. If it's laggy, then that's something to do with you, I'm afraid. I do apologize. So, but it shouldn't be. Not laggy here. Oh, I apologize. We do have a problem, ladies and gentlemen. We have a problem with the streaming. Suffering buffering. Yes, you're right. It is. It's stopping. Uh-oh. Okay, let's have a look and see what that's all about. Let me see if I can change something. Let me see if I can change that. Bear with me. Don't go away. Do not go away. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, which should be working a lot better now. Let me see. Is that going? It should be working a lot better. It looks good. Okay, piano and voice audio, okay. Am I back? This is the important thing. Am I back? Let me know. Better, says Michael Thielen. Thank you, Michael. Cam says piano and voice audio. Better, yes, says Jim. There we are. Yeah, we had this problem the other day, and by simply reducing the amount of data I send to YouTube, it seems to get better. It means we might not have the full quality, but it looks like we're doing better. Splendid. Everything's better. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on with the show. I only need to press one button this evening, which is my microphone. And I have to do it here because I cannot go anywhere near the ATEM. It's miles away over there. Let's have some music and let's see what you think of this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a piece of Boogie Woogie. What else? That's what we're doing tonight, isn't it? It's Boogie Woogie time. Oh, and by the way, before we do some Boogie Woogie, I have to, before Uzamayo says something, of course, I have to do that. Look, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. If you would like to treat yourself to an online virtual ticket. My goodness me, it's exciting. Here we go. Are we recording? We're not recording, definitely not. So it should be working. Perfect. Right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Let's play some music. Something like that. There we are. Let's get the boogie going. My goodness me. This is hard work tonight. I know it's going to be hard work, but a bit of fun nonetheless. Why did we decide to do this today? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've had this piano for a few weeks now, and we've had a few sort of boogie woogie and piano videos on a Thursday. And a long time ago, someone asked me, are you going to do live streams from the piano as well? And we thought about doing the occasional Friday or Sunday, which is when we do our normal music live streams. We thought we would maybe do one of the Friday or Sunday live streams from the piano. But a lot of people said, no, we want the organ music. There it is, the organ's right behind me. We want the organ music on the Fridays and the Sundays. So if you're going to do any extra live streams like that, then please just as a separate live stream. So today we were having a bit of a think today, Vanessa and I. Vanessa might actually be joining us this evening. Vanessa is downstairs. I think she's downstairs feeding the little one, the little bundle of joy. Has she been in the chat yet? No, she hasn't been in the chat yet. Actually, I can have the chat here, can't I? Then I don't have to be looking at that all the time. Why do I have this device if I'm not going to use it? Click. Oh, there we are. The first thing I see, and then do I need to turn this down? Nope, should be working. Good, right, here we are. The iPad Kid, I sent you an email to your Gmail address this afternoon. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, I will have a look at that later. I have not actually been, I've not been doing anything private today. I've been having a very, here we go, having a very busy day doing all sorts of other things. So I didn't get a chance to look at any emails today, but I look forward to that. So thank you, iPad Kid. I know who you really are, iPad Kid. And that's rather good to know. So that's something to look forward to. There we are. Now I can see you all here, you see. Perfect. The Cabbage Patch Blues, the Cauliflower Patch Blues. Yes, I have my cauliflower here. The cauliflower normally sits at the organ. Shall we put him here? Let's put him there. He can look at the camera too. The cauliflower is the mascot of the Gartshore Gang. Why do we have a cauliflower? It's quite simple. I hate cauliflower. That's the way it works. Okay, the WSM keeps saying I'm looking for a live gig. This is live, WSM. The WSM, this is live. This is live from my music room here in my house, and we will be enjoying some music tonight. Very spontaneous, no plan. We're just going to have some fun. Unless, of course, WSM, you mean looking for an actual live gig where I'm out and about in the world playing actual gigs at the moment. I only have one more gig planned for 2023, and that is on the 31st of December, the end of the year, the last day of the year, where I'm playing a jazz organ concert in the city of Bonn in Germany. So there you are, at 22:30 hours in the evening. Gosh, that's a late one, but it's a New Year's concert, very special thing, and I love doing that. It's the old church I used to play in anyway, with its magnificent, enormous concert-style organ, and I get to play jazzy music, which is great fun indeed. So that's my only concert for the rest of this year. But next year, I'm taking dates. We are booking dates. Michael, Bon Boyle, correct, St. Joseph. Yep, definitely. I look forward to seeing you there, Michael Thielen. I haven't seen you, Michael Thielen, for a long time. You came to my church in Herschbach a few months ago, and sat downstairs. Tut, tut, if you're coming to visit me in church, come upstairs and sit at the organ. Enjoy. That's what it's all about. Right, anyway, fine. Let's have some more music, ladies and gentlemen. Let's actually see, before I do this, let me switch on that extra camera so that you can see what you're doing. Oh, that's well placed. It hides my enormously fat stomach, so that's good. That's good. You can see me rub my stomach from the other side. Perfect. What key was that? I've no idea. It was in B major. There we go. Okay, perfect. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Star Wars doing Boogie Woogie. Oh my goodness, Alex, I don't think that's going to happen. We shall see right now. I need to turn back to here. It's a very confusing setup this evening. I can't get my Stream Deck thing to work with this computer properly. It seems to be confusing itself with other things. I don't know why. Otherwise, I could have something right here. I could even have it here, I suppose. But I'll do that for next time. If you enjoy the piano live stream tonight, then we will do it on a regular basis. I like it. Here's a piece of music that is not Boogie Woogie. There you go, the St. Louis Blues. Yes, in the key of G. Well spotted, Mr. Rasbaz. Correct. G, it has to be in G major. You can't play that in any other key. It's not permitted. It has to be played in G major. Not allowed otherwise. Sorry, folks, I have to quickly check something here. What's that? What's that? What's that? I don't know what that is. That's nothing to do with me. Right, let's click this and see what happens. Ha! Let me see what's going on here. Right, ping and ping. Splendid. Right, exciting things going on. So what's happening in the chat tonight? Let's have a look. Who's here in the old chitty chat tonight? Everyone's here, the Gartshore Gang. Anyone new here tonight? If you're new and you're here for the piano music rather than the organ music, then do say hi in the chat and say, hello, I'm new, so that we know who you are. So Mike King is here, Xing Shang Zhong is here, the Robotic Crafter is here, Stefan Messe is here. Stefan, thank you also for your ticket. That's very kind indeed, thank you. Cam is here, of course, Cam is here. Cam is the magic Cam is here. Cam is omnipresent, and I mean that in a good way. We've got Mike King already. Our friend Jim Cascagnette is there, Jim Cascagnette. And according to Jim's profile picture, he has a beautiful house. Congratulations, Jim. Jeff is here, Jeffrey Ford, hello. Marcus B is here, hello, this is nice. David Stevens, haven't seen you for a long time. Hello, David Stevens, nice to see you. Reinhard M, haven't seen you for a long time either. Congratulations. Reinhard Karel is here, wonderful. Oh, this is good. Urza is here, of course, Urza is here. Good evening, Urza. That's very kind that you're here. Urza, maybe you'd like to pin something in the chat for us. You know what I mean? Michael Thielen is here. Yes, wonderful. Rasbaz is here. Who else is here? Victor is here. Hello, Victor. That's lovely that you're there as well. The WSM, yes, we spotted you earlier. The iPad Kid, we spotted you earlier as well. Michael Becker, hello. Michael Becker, that's good, and so on. Right, anyone else? Anyone else here new since we've arrived? This was very spontaneous today. I didn't plan this, you see. I wanted just to see how it went. Also, it's a little sort of, oh, Grisha Blatt is here. Jazz M is here as well. Robin is here. Good evening from Belgium, and good evening to Belgium. Hello. Lovely. Wonderful stuff. Splendid. All right, well, there's quite a few people there. That's good. There's over 50 of you in the chat so far, and oh, we've got over 200 clicks already. So those of you hiding in the chat, or hiding in the background, not in the chat, say hi and join us. It's all good fun. Wonderful. Splendid. We love to have you along. Now, yes, tonight was a spontaneous idea. It was going to be a normal boogie video, but we thought, no, actually, let's change that idea and let's put up just a very spontaneous live stream and see how many people turn up. And let's see if we want to do this on a maybe slightly regular basis. I'm not sure how regular we're going to do it, but if you enjoy it, we will do it on a regular basis. Right, back to the music. Enough chit-chat. By the way, I also don't know how long we're going to do tonight. Are we going to do an hour? Are we going to do an hour and a half? Are we going to do 2 hours? Are we going to do 3? No. I don't know. Let's say something around the 1.5 hour marks. We shall see. Anyway, right. You can't play a piano concert in my style of piano playing without including the wonderful Mr. Thomas Fats Waller. We love Fats Waller. Well done, Honeysuckle Rose. You got it right second time. You said ain't misbehaving first, and that wasn't quite right. Yes, Honeysuckle Rose. Someone asked me, how do you do that left hand thing? Who was that? Orgel has a 1, 2, 3. How long do you have to practice to get the left hand? Well, I don't know, because I never get the left hand completely right. Stride piano, ladies and gentlemen. Someone said ragtime. Ragtime's not quite right. Ragtime is slightly simpler. Ragtime only sort of basically does this. That's all ragtime ever does. You know what this is, the left hand, obviously. Yes, the entertainer. Now, what stride does, stride takes it further. Okay? For stride piano, it tends to be further. It tends not just to be single notes, it tends to be at least octaves. If you have big enough hands, it can be tenths. My hands are just big enough for a tenth. I can't get all of them. If I play slowly, I can get tenths. I can't do the fast tenths. Fats Waller could stretch that far with one hand. You can see that rather clearly on the camera there. He could stretch from C to the next C. There's the 10th. He could go all the way 4 more notes. Yeah. He could stretch a 13th, believe it or not. 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. He could stretch a 13th. So it's an octave plus a 6th in one hand. So he could easily play those tenths, B to D sharp. I can only barely stretch B to C sharp. He could do B to D sharp easily. He could actually do. There's a very famous piece of music by Fats Waller where he plays in the right hand side. He plays 11ths. He plays a B flat at the bottom and an E flat at the top. Yeah, look at that. That's that. His hands are enormous. And he plays chords like this. He actually plays chords. Isn't that amazing? Have I ever been able to play on one of those 6-scale keyboards instead of the 6.5 default normal? I don't know what you're talking about, Alex. It sounds interesting, though. So, yeah, Fats Waller had huge hands. Oscar Peterson claimed to only be able to stretch an 11th. If you listen to interviews, he says that. That's rubbish, because there's video of him playing a 12th, and there's actually one recording of him where he plays. Somehow he plays this chord at the same time with both hands. So I have to split it because he does this. He does this, and then this note, and then this note. Now that is kind of impossible. Even if you do have enormous hands, I would say that's kind of impossible. But he was doing that in one hand, and in the other hand he was doing this. Yeah? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of like a sort of an F major sort of held chord. That kind of thing. He does that, poof, all at once. There's only one way you can do that, and that's if you can stretch a 13th in one hand, or you have someone else standing beside you at the piano to play one note. I don't believe that. I believe he had just had the huge hands. Ask Cam Platz. Cam met Oscar Peterson in an elevator when he was a little boy. That's when Cam was a little boy, not Oscar Peterson. Cam met him in an elevator. Sorry, I need to get a tasty beverage. Any members of the Gartshore Gang there tonight? It's tasty beverage time. So you get the old chit-chat going with the emojis there. It's tasty beverage time. It's tasty beverage time. So anyway, yes, I was talking about stride piano, and for stride piano doesn't just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It can do, of course, but sometimes it will sort of walk. And sometimes it will walk on a syncopated. Does all these kinds of things, and of course it tends to be a little bit faster. See, those weren't all the right notes in all the right places. However, there's a trick to playing stride piano fast that a lot of people get wrong. What a lot of people do, they're concentrating on the bottom note and then the furthest away note in the chord. And what to do is actually it's the exact opposite. If you play octaves, it's actually easier to concentrate on this note, the upper note, and then the lower note of the chord. So I'm watching the C there, and I'm jumping to here to the G. So I'm only watching between C and G, and that makes life a lot easier. And so you're not looking at that C and then that E. That's miles away. Yeah? I'm looking at that one and that one. So my thumb is playing that note, my fifth finger is playing that note. And I can go. I can do that, okay? Well, theoretically. And watch closer intervals and just jump between them. Your thumb is the one that sort of leads the way. If you're in different keys, if you play tenths, it's even easier because then you're watching from the highest note of the tenth, which is only 2 notes away from the bottom note of the chord. So that would be a tenth. That's the same note then. So I'm not watching at all. Yeah, that's the same note. F to an F, and then there. That's in the middle of it, so you're not watching at all, basically. And that's how someone like Fats Waller could play his left. He never looked at his left hand when he was playing. He was always busy doing his. Yeah. He was always doing that in his. He was watching what his right hand was doing. Now, there is a trick that Fats Waller does in a lot of his music, and everybody thinks it's just this. I'm trying to play it wrong so I can describe it. That's not how he does it. He does something very, very different. And one of these days, I might let you into the secret. I'm not going to play it now because I've told you about it. And it's much more complicated than thirds. Much more complicated than that, but he does some incredibly crazy things. I will show it to you one day, but not now. There you are. Jim, I can't play that. I can hardly use the microwave oven. I don't even have a microwave oven. So there you are. Cheers. Tasty beverage time. Ah, perfect. Perfect. Splendid. Back then to the world of Boogie Woogie. Now, my fat stomach is rather useful at this point. Let me quickly remove that video so that I can allegedly show you. Click, there it is. Right, so you need a fat stomach for this part. Now, apparently, back in the 1920s and 30s, some of the piano players were so fat that their stomach prevented them, left hand, from jumping from there to there, apparently. Now, I'm not actually sure that this is true. I'm not sure that that's true at all. I don't believe it, because you can always jump a little bit around, and some of the best boogie woogie players were also phenomenal stride players, but apparently some of them were so large, stomach was in the way, that their left hand just basically sort of had to stay around here and not do very much at all. And this is where the idea of boogie woogie came from, where your left hand doesn't really do anything. I don't think that's true, to be honest. Do you think that's true? It sounds a bit fanciful to me. I doubt very much that that is true. But it's a nice little anecdote nonetheless. Let's have a simple boogie woogie. Someone in the chat a long time ago, this is in the comments of one of the boogie videos I posted a while back, was saying, how do you get the coordination between your hands to work? Well, some fun and games there. Good, good, good. Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on what's going on with our stream over there because I was watching a little red flashing light. Oh, God, getting out of breath doing that. It's much more hard work to play the piano than it is to play the organ, ladies and gentlemen. Robin says you can tell he's an organist because he's constantly moving his feet along. No, that's something I've always done. Even when I was a little boy playing the piano, before I started playing the organ, I was always banging along with my feet. Maybe I was destined to be a piano player from the beginning. Who knows? All good fun. Nonetheless, gosh, whew, out of breath. Out of breath, folks. Out of breath. Ooh, what have I missed here? Ooh, tickets. Gosh, people are buying tickets. This is exciting. Who did? Oh, we had Stefan at the beginning. Thank you, Stefan. Who's this? Razbaz. Thank you very much, Razbaz. Oh, sorry, there's more in there. Razbaz. Who this? That's Razbaz. Who's this? Who's this? Oh no, hold on. That's old. Okay, that's old. Sorry. Nope, enough. Sorry. That's who's this? Cameron Platz. Thank you very much, Cam. That's very kind indeed. And who's this? Stefan. Another Stefan. How many different Stefans do we have tonight? Gosh, thank you very much, Stefan. Very kind indeed. Thank you very much. Gosh, I was very much out of breath after that. We had dinner immediately before the concert. That may have had something to do with it as well. Never play on a full stomach, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers. Now, the point of that little piece was to show you how you can sort of build up a boogie. The whole point of playing boogie woogie music is, well, first of all, it's to entertain. It's to dance along to. Boogie woogie is a term that comes from, well, I'm not terribly sure, but never mind. Let's not go into that. It's not very politically correct. But it's wonderful music, and it's good fun. Good fun to really get you going. It's all about the left hand. The left hand has various different rhythms. The simplest is probably just actually 2 notes. So it's C and G, C and A if you're in the key of C. And you've got to get the feeling right. So you're accenting the second of those beats. Now, a lot of people ask, how do you what's the technique of playing boogie woogie? I can't get my left hand to do it properly, blah, blah, blah. I'm left-handed. That has nothing, however, to do with it, because if you're right-handed, it theoretically means the left-hand side of your body should be stronger. Is that true? No, of course not. The left-hand side of your brain, however. What's the left-hand side of your brain used for? Let's get into that at another day. I can't speak tonight, ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Been a long day. Anyway, so these 2 notes, yeah? And then you split them. Your thumb is the note controlling, or the finger controlling all the heavy beats. Okay? Now, that's the first thing to get used to. Just get used to doing that. And it's a rocking motion. It comes from here. It comes from this part of your arm. Can I get my arm in focus? There it is. Let me get rid of that silly picture there so I can show you what my left hand is doing. Off you trot. There we go. So you can see it's this part of my arm that's doing all the work. It's not my hand that's doing all the work. That's very important. If you let your hand do all the work, this will all become very stiff and you will not be able to play for any length of time whatsoever. Okay, so it's this muscle here that's basically sort of rocking everything around. Okay, and then you jump around. Okay, now that's for that kind of movement. There is another kind of boogie movement that has a sort of, it's more of the, it became the Jerry Lee Lewis style later. And it's much heavier. It's a much heavier way of playing, okay? But you start off on 1 note and build up. Okay, and Jerry Lee would end up playing all 4 notes at the same time sometimes, and that gives it a very, very heavy and thick feeling. That came, however, from the Chicago style of boogie woogie, which was our friends Pete Johnson and Albert Ammons. Albert Ammons in the 1930s, one of the most famous boogie players ever. And also my favorite boogie player, because he just had, there was something about his style that was just so cool and laid back, but so technically impossible as well. And these guys came up with a sort of, they came up with a mixture of Now you might recognize that as a sort of rock and roll style bass line. That did come later as well, but, and then that one. Now if you mix both of those together, you get that kind of idea, okay? And this is where it gets really difficult. Now this is all straight style. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, straight beats. If we take those beats and make them a bit more swingy, then it becomes even more fun. Now the technique for this is very, very different indeed. The technique from this is not all here on the keyboard. When you're doing that, your fingers are basically stuck to the notes and your arm is doing all the work. This one, the difference here, it's all in the wrist and you're throwing your fingers at the note. So if you're jumping up and down. So the idea is you've got a heavy note at the beginning with your 5th finger, your little pinky, and then you're using the middle notes, and you're trampolining off those notes to get the weight back for the next notes. Okay, and it's a very different, we're not using, you can see my whole my arms. I'm not moving my arm at all, really. It's all in the wrist. Yeah, actually most of the work is coming from here and the wrist and obviously your fingers. So, a lot of people, when they start playing Boogie Woogie, they're getting very tense and all of this starts hurting. And of course, you're doing it wrong. This is completely relaxed. If that wasn't completely relaxed, there is no way on earth you'd be able to do it for hours on end. Actually, one of the few complaints I have about the Boogie Woogie world is that a lot of Boogie Woogie players don't know when to stop. And some of their pieces go on forever and ever and ever and ever. And it's a bit hard on an audience. Cheers, folks. Ooh. It's a bit hard going in an audience, so you've got to sort of let them go. Right, anyway, so once we've worked out what our left hand pattern is going to be, we have to somehow incorporate our right hand into the proceedings. This is where it becomes difficult. There's the coordination, and the only way to get the coordination going is to start simple. If you've ever seen the film Ray, all about the life of Ray Charles, there's a wonderful scene where he's allegedly getting a piano lesson from some old guy in a pub, in a bar, in a saloon, or whatever you want to call it. And they've got a very... the guy on the piano, the old guy's playing this sort of thing in the bass, and he's telling little Ray Charles, play this note, play this note, play this note, or whatever it is, just play this note. So, and little Ray Charles is going, this is the guy, and little Ray Charles is going... whatever, playing little notes like that, yeah? That's actually true. If you just do that, just choose a few notes that kind of fit to the harmonies you want, and just single notes, and just sort of punch them in where you think it's going to fit. That will teach you, first of all, some kind of coordination, but it will also teach you a little bit of independence, and that's what we're looking for with Boogie Woogie. It's all about independence, okay? All about independence. If you can get your hands to be completely independent, then you're laughing. Now, someone who had his hands were completely independent was probably Mr. Errol Garner. And nobody knows how he did it. I think he probably had an operation when he was small and had both halves of his brain separated. But there's something about Errol Garner's playing that's just weird. I don't know how he does it. I've tried. But the problem is eventually your brain takes over and pushes everything back into the box. Very difficult to do. Let's have something in a minor key, ladies and gentlemen. What key shall we choose? Let's choose I don't know, let's choose E flat minor, that's a good key. Oh, something in a kind of almost Errol Garner style there. Errol Garner used to love playing in E flat minor, basically because it meant you had all the black keys to do your... Errol Garner had a way of taking a note like this. It would be sort of... But he wouldn't go in both octaves. You need my right hand for this, don't you? See what the hell I'm doing. Click. It's handy having this, isn't it? And you sort of slide from the A flat to there. I slide using 4 to 5. He would have gone with one finger, but never mind. I'm doing it like that. But he didn't do that. He held the A flat there and slid using his thumb. Can I show you that? And you get this sort of... Very, very clever stuff. And again, Errol Garner, play Errol Garner, you need to have the Chicago phone book under your bum. It's very simple. Cam asked a question, can you discuss the use of the sustain pedal for this kind of music? Yeah, it's very simple. You use it only to help to join the bass note with the chord. And that's basically it. And what that does, first of all, it gives you the sustained, but it emphasizes the 2 and the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah? It emphasizes that. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? It gives you that sort of rhythmic feel. The whole point of stride piano, the word stride comes from your left hand striding up and down the piano like that. The whole point of it is you're basically playing an entire band in your left hand. You've got the bass and you've got the guitar. Yeah? That's the idea. Leaving your right hand free to do the melody instruments. That's the whole point. Someone a long, long time ago, I think it might have been Willie the Lion Smith. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But one of the sort of the famous old stride piano players, he said he didn't call it stride piano. Well, he called it for most of his life, he called it ragtime piano. That's just because he came from that era. But he actually called it symphonic jazz piano, because you can do an entire symphony orchestra. You've got all the bass there, all the accompaniment there, and all the melody, a whole octave's worth, including all the what's the word I'm looking for? All the harmony in between. You can play octaves, or all the different chords in between, giving you a sort of full sound, a full orchestral sound, a full symphonic sound. And that's apparently where the idea came from. Very well. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I hope that answered your question. Let's go back to the early days of stride piano and a guy called James P. Johnson, James Price Johnson, one of the first to coin the phrase stride piano. He helped Fats Waller out at the beginning. Fats Waller and James P. Johnson were very good friends. James P. Johnson was, of course, definitely the composer of the Charleston back in 1920 something or other. And what's this? I have another tick, and it's from Jan. Thank you, Jan. That's very kind. Thursday night is piano music night, he says. I suppose it is. So thank you very much for that. Very kind. Hold on, back to here. I need to sort out my streaming equipment, don't I? But anyway, back to James P. Johnson, and he composed a lot of fun tunes. Some of them are very fast, including this one. And James P. Johnson didn't just compose the piece of music called the Charleston, which came from South Carolina. He composed something called the Carolina Shout, which is one of the first pieces of sort of stride piano music that everybody wants to learn if they decide to start learning stride piano. It's a wonderful piece of music. I hope I can remember exactly how it goes. I'm going to dedicate this one, of course, to Joe and Maria. See, Joe and Maria are here tonight. They live, of course, in South Carolina, and it was their anniversary the other day on Tuesday, and I put up a little video for them. So I hope you enjoyed that little concert. I hope you've seen it. And it was good fun doing it. And here's the Carolina Shout. I hope I can remember it. This is very spontaneous tonight. Oh, I can't remember the Carolina shout, there you are, but I started, so I better finish. Yeah, dear, that wasn't the way it was supposed to sound. That was a very sloppy version of the Carolina shout. That was the Carolina burp, I think we'll call it. The Carolina burp, but yeah, definitely not the way it should have been played. There's a wonderful version of that by Mr. Fats Waller again, who just plays it in a much more laid back style. James P. Johnson had a very hard, attacky style on the piano, much like someone called Earl Hines, Father Earl Hines. Earl Hines, there are videos of Earl Hines from the 1970s playing the most amazingly sort of avant-garde. It's still basically stride piano, but it's the most bizarre thing you've ever seen or heard. I'm not going to try to copy it because it's absolutely impossible, but he had a very percussive style. Now, I rather like the percussive style of playing. Duke Ellington is one of my favorites as well. Duke Ellington would really thump the piano, boof, really get down there and thump it, especially up here. That kind of stuff. That was all Duke Ellington's stuff. Count Basie, on the other hand, was the exact opposite. Count Basie was amazing, so laid back. I would love to have met Count Basie. Exciting stuff. Right, I'm going to play a piece of music called... I'm not sure actually. What am I going to play? Let's just spontaneously get into something. I have no idea what this is going to be. And it's going to be in the style of... Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Let's find out. that was me just mucking around, playing out. I'm listening to the piano. I'm still not used to this new machine, this new Kawai this new Kawai MP11 SE. The SE stands for special or second or stupid edition. I'm not sure. It's a wonderful piece of kit though. Ooh, Orgelhase, thank you very much for an extra ticket on here. That's very exciting. What about over here? Have I missed anything? I have missed something. It's Uncle Jerry. Hello, Uncle Jerry. Thank you very much, Uncle Jerry. And who dis? Jez, Uncle Jez as well. That's very kind of both of you. Thank you very much indeed. Ha, splendid. Thank you, folks. Lovely, lovely. What was I talking about? Oh yes, this wonderful piano. And it's got some amazing effects and sounds on it. The way I ended there, I think I actually managed to overload. Yes, I did. I managed to get 0 dB out of the system. Perfect. This, I played this a very soft here. What did I do there? Something like that. And then... Oh, and then I did this, didn't I? That's right, sorry. But this beautiful song. That beautiful sound at the bottom staying in there. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's absolutely amazing. What a wonderful piece of music. Back to the world, ladies and gentlemen, of Mr. Thomas Fats Waller. Dinah, again, South Carolina. Has anyone seen anyone finer from the state of South Carolina? If you do and you know her, show her to me. Ooh, Dinah with her Dixie eyes blazing. Oh, you're not allowed to say Dixie these days, are you? That's politically incorrect. Who cares? I sure don't. Dinah with the original Fats Waller solo. Everyone said Fats Waller didn't play boogie. Well, he did play, and he could play boogie. He was actually not contracted or not contractually permitted to play Boogie Woogie. Fats Waller got round it with what was that piece of music he recorded? The Fats Waller something blues. Fats Waller, wasn't it? What was that called? What was that called again? That was called the Fats Waller Original something blue. It was an E flat, wasn't it? Wasn't it? No, it wasn't. Can't remember. Anyway, Fats Waller wasn't contractually permitted to play boogie, but occasionally. Occasionally a little solo would come out, but being Fats Waller, he had to turn it into a Fats Waller solo, and the middle part of that was this. Fats Waller loved that kind of thing, where he would use his right hand to beat down on what the left hand was up to. One of his favourite things to do was to play a bum 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 bum, a simple scale, but hammer it on the right hand as well. Yeah, wonderful stuff. Fats Waller was amazing. I would love to have met him. Having said that, people who did meet him said he was a very disappointing character because he was mainly drunk and just a fool most of the time, just acting the fool all the time. Which I suppose is how we sort of imagine Fats Waller when you think about it. However, he was an amazing songsmith, he was an amazing piano player, and had a wonderful singing voice as well, a very, very talented baritone singing voice, wonderful. And yeah, wonderful guy. Anyway, let's play even more Fats Waller here. This is for Rasbaz because he thought I was playing it earlier, so I will play it now. Ain't Misbehavin', something that Fats Waller definitely wasn't. He wasn't not misbehaving, if you know what I mean. Some 8 misbehaving there with some misbehaving in the middle. All that kind of offbeat stuff in the left hand, that's something David is watching. David Todt is watching tonight, and David recently, he was one of the ones who recently got in touch to say, how on earth do you do that sort of independence of hands thing? And the trick is, one of your hands is doing the melody. Something like that, yeah, with all the jazzy, bluesy, wrong notes in between. And then what your left hand does is then completely immaterial. You can just sort of mess about with your left hand. Suddenly you meet somewhere on the way past. It's yeah, it's fun. It's fun. The trick is to somehow get some kind of rhythm in that as well, which is rather difficult. I've noticed, ladies and gentlemen, sitting on this piano stool for 1.5 hours, it's incredibly uncomfortable, and my arse has fallen asleep in the most catastrophic way. Whew, if I stood up now, I would fall flat on my face. This is, yeah, I don't know what I'm sitting on. This is actually an old, oh, James, thank you very much. A ticket from someone called James. James, where are you from? I don't recognize, well, we do recognize your name. You were there once before. Thank you, James. Very kind. Yeah, good God. I had no idea what the material is of this seat. It's made of something incredibly uncomfortable. I'm going to have to treat myself to a proper piano stool, I think, ladies and gentlemen. Good God. There is not a drop of blood in my arse. Absolutely none whatsoever. Oh, gosh, cheers, folks. I'm going to suffer tonight. You know that thing that professional cyclists get? Apparently this is on. If any women watching, tune out now. Men of a certain age will know exactly what I'm talking about. There's obviously something going on inside us, shall we say, up there. And at certain times, it's usually about 3:45 in the morning. Some vein somewhere inside you decides to go, no, strike, and decides to go all varicose on you, and it's hell. Apparently cyclists suffer from it, and apparently I'm going to suffer from it tonight as well, so yes. Maybe that's why Errol Garner sat on a telephone book to give himself more support. Do I have anything hard to sit on? I have my organ bench here, but that's too high. Oh. Hold on. Ha 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 ha. We have, do we? Yes, we do. Look, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the Chicago telephone book, but it is my anthology of jazz. Let's see if this helps. Relief? Oh my goodness. Oh, instant relief. Ah, that's better. That's better. And it's cool too. I bet none of you, when you tuned in tonight, imagined you would be watching a 50-year-old man complaining about his arse. Anyway, there you are. That's live. Razbaz, let's do a crowdfunding for a proper piano seat. Why did you get me? They don't cost much, do they? I don't know what piano seats cost, but oh, bloody hell, that's better. Oh, that's better. Cold shower after the concert, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a boogie woogie to take my mind off what the hell's going on down there. See if I get some blood back in my cheeks, as it were. Okay, that's better. And yes, the anatomical anomalies of my, I'm not going to use any other with letter A, but you know what I mean, it's better. It's better. Sitting on something hard is better than sitting on this, whatever it is. So, there we are. There we go. Alfred Bodensehorn has arrived. Also, the blue-eyed cat is here. Sorry, I didn't spot you earlier. Julian Cleek is here as well. I didn't spot you either, Julia. That's wonderful that you're here. Thank you very much. Gosh, exciting. And D-Logo84. D-Logo84 is also here. D-Logo84. Does that mean you were born in 1984? Is Tippy Toppy 79 from 1979 as well? That's interesting. Who knows? Who knows? Right. We're going to finish off, ladies and gentlemen. I promised I would do something between 1 and 1.5 hours, and we're already over. And I can hear things going on downstairs. So I think I'd probably better go and see what's going on down there. It sounds like Mrs. Gartshore is busy with either a little bundle of joy or big hairy bundle of joy, one or other. So I better go and find out what's going on down there. So I'm going to play a tune I love playing. I've played it many, many times before. I think I've played it once on the channel on an organ concert from Dr. Billy Taylor, the wonderfully concisely titled, I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free. Gosh, yes, that's a bit of a thing. Any Brits in the audience will know that this was the Barry Norman theme. Barry Norman, who had his film, whatever. You recognise that. Everyone recognises that. It's a wonderful piece of music. I met Billy Taylor years and years and years ago in New York at the 70th birthday or 75th birthday of his bass player, who was called Earl something or other, or something, was it something Earl or Earl something? I can't remember. Wonderful guy. And I just so happened to turn up with a party of, I was at a wedding, and the wedding party turned up at this jazz club in Harlem that night, and it turned out to be this guy's birthday party concert, and all of the sort of New York jazz scene was there, including Billy Taylor, including Clark Terry, including Wynton Marsalis. All of these people were there. It was an amazing party, and I got to join in and play some piano music. I didn't play any of Billy Taylor's stuff. I was doing my Count Basie stuff, which went down very well. All good fun indeed. And Clark Terry, who was in a wheelchair and getting on a bit, Clark Terry came up with his trumpet, and I got to play an old Count Basie number, Shiny Stockings. You know this one? Recognize that? That's how it starts, yeah? And then eventually everyone comes in, and the piano player gives the bass player a little signal, and we go ba bum ba ba, and then and off it goes with the wonderful song, Shiny Stockings. But when I did this, as soon as I did that, Clark Terry, who was sitting sort of there waiting for something, he immediately sort of leapt up and stared over at the piano and just sort of looked at me with big eyes through his enormous glasses. Big eyes. And afterwards he said, "Whoa, nobody's played that like that since Basie." So I thought that was a very lovely compliment. And at the end of the night, he called me the European Count Basie, which I thought was rather cool. Title I hold to this day, apparently. Anyway, there you have it. There you have it. What was I going to play? Dr. Billy Taylor, sadly no longer with us, with his enormous rimmed glasses as well. Anyway, here is I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free. A piece of music I used to dedicate to unhappily married people in the audience. Sounds like gospel, is kind of gospel. Billy Taylor had an amazing sort of style, a very cool sort of, yeah, I would say almost gospel-y style. The original version is absolutely brilliant. He uses the wonderful, it's a wonderful modulation. It starts in F major, but it's got that's what gives it a nice gospel sound. Okay, that's how it ends, going from this diminished chord, again diminished, and then he uses this chord, so it's the same diminished chord, but just in a different position now, so instead of B diminished, taking us back to F, he goes D diminished, taking us to A flat, and then he goes off on a wild sort of bebop style solo. It's an amazing piece of music. Ooh, Alexander Wunderlich has just arrived. Sorry, Alexander, we're just about to finish, but lovely that you were here. Thank you. Pianos are wonderful things. We will be looking at lots of different piano styles coming up in the weeks to come. And one of those styles is sort of what a lot of people think of as being a sort of country style. It's basically, it comes from slide guitar, and it's sort of slide piano, I suppose you would call it. Also, it kind of comes from blues as well, because the blues sort of you can't really slide keys on a piano because everything's very sort of strict, but you can. So on and so on. Now, Joe knows exactly who I'm talking about with this sort of, this wonderful sort of slidey style. It's definitely easy. D-Logo84 says, Boogie Woogie is so easy to play for beginners. Ha! Hold my beer. Hold my beer, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have some fun and games. There you are, a bizarre boogie. I've just smashed my nail and my middle finger to smithereens. That's good. Splendid. Anyway, never mind. That's the joys of playing piano. Playing piano is so much more difficult than playing the organ. Certainly more demanding. Good for the old arm muscles though. Splendid. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first of our piano live streams that we've had in a very, 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 very long time. The very first streams we had right back at the beginning in 2020, they involved some piano at the very, very, very beginning. That was definitely good fun, but we haven't had one since. So here we are. That was our first of our live stuff. So if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below. You can let me know in the chat with a thumbs up as I play the final piece of music. Do you think we should do this on a regular basis? Let's say maybe once every 2 weeks, once every month, something like that? I don't know. It's good fun anyway. Definitely good fun. And yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's have a quick look over here, make sure I haven't missed any ticket sales. I did. Julian, thank you very much, Julian. That's very kind. Thank you. Final little things there. So all little surprising little extras. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Very kind. Very kind indeed. And very kind. Very kind. Right. Show your appreciation and donate here, it says. Well, there you are. I'm going to start, something we're going to do soon. I'll tell you all about this in one of the organ concerts. Do join us tomorrow night for organ night. Friday night is organ music night. Tomorrow night we're having a bit of a sort of an international music night tomorrow night. Very good fun. Sunday night we're going to have some Halloweeny style music. That's also going to be organ. Ooh la la. And then, ladies and gentlemen, before you can say boo, it's going to be November. Oh my goodness me! What happened to the year? Frightening. Tax time, says Joe. Oh yes, I'm in the middle of that at the moment. I had a letter from the tax authorities. They have questions. So anyway, nothing to worry about. It's all kosher. It's all above board, which is good. Thank God for that. Or you can't hide in this day and age, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, there we are. All good fun indeed. So thank you very much for being with us this evening for our spontaneous Thursday night is piano music night. Very spontaneous indeed. And yeah, I think we'll do this on a regular basis. A few thumbs up there, not too many, a few. Well, the question is, what are we going to play to finish off this evening's concert, ladies and gentlemen? I think there's only one thing we can play.